Hello YouTube. This is something a bit different. We're doing a tier list, which I've not actually done before on the channel. We're doing a Persona 3 Reload and Episode Eigis tier list for all the characters. I'm gonna have a quick chat with my chat, and after that we're gonna sort everyone into these ranks. We have S, A, B, C, and D. I probably will add another rank on the top and then another rank on the bottom, and we will figure it out from there. So we'll be right back. Okay, we filled in our top and bottom tiers. You can see I put base at top and cringe at the bottom because of course I did. And we are going to fill in our characters here. We're going to just basically fill them in as they are here on the screen. I believe this isn't alphabetical, is it? It might be. I don't know actually. But anyway, it is. Oh, cool. All right, fair enough. And we are going to basically just go from the start to the end. And we're going to rank all these characters. I'm going to give a little bit of opinion on why I think that, and we're going to go to the chat over there, and you can see their opinions as well. So we're going to start with Eigis. Eigis is someone who was introduced like halfway through the game ish, and in Persona 3 Reload Episode Eigis, you also control her. I liked her as the main character. I liked her story arc. I thought the fact that she kind of grows more human as the game goes on is pretty good. I'm gonna put her in. I'm gonna put her in S tier. I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people will say she's best girl, which I understand. But I also understand that she dedicates her life to protecting the main character. She does a lot of good work. I think she's got a lot of really cool combat abilities as well. I like her persona, both Athena and the base persona, but I really liked her skills, her stats, her linked episodes, her social link was pretty fun. So I think putting her in S tier is pretty good. Akihiko Sanada. I also really liked Eigis' voice actress. And that's also fair. You got to mention the voice acting too. So Eigis' voice actress, really good. Akihiko Sanada, voiced by Alejandro Saab, aka Sayu. Akihiko's personality at the start is very one note. He's just punching things in the face. But he's also like quite upbeat, quite chipper. He's got a lot of fun. He's got a fun dynamic with Mitsuru, because those two were original C's members. His voice acting is very good, and he gets progressively better as the game goes on. Also, I fully expect there to be a lot of characters in S and A, maybe a couple in, and not very many down here, and not very many up here. But I don't expect there to be any. I don't expect there to be like a multiple amount of characters in C and D and cringe, unless I really didn't like them. Akihiko, I think, is another S tier character. It does help that he's a C's member as well. He's really, really strong in combat. I liked his relationship with Shinji. I really liked his reaction to Shinji's death. Really appreciated all that stuff about him. He's got a lot of good stuff going on. I don't remember this guy. The Sun Arcana. We'll call him the Sun Arcana because that's what I remember him as. I'm gonna put him in B tier, honestly. Don't remember his name, so I think that all really needs to be said there. I liked his social link because at the end he turns out he's been dead the whole time. Not the whole time, but for quite a while. And is pretty good overall. I didn't really think too much about it. It was fine, I guess is how that's how I put it. He was perfectly fine, perfectly normal, which I think means he was in C. Actually, I shouldn't put him in B. He's like the first C tier character. He's perfectly. Well, no, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 7. So yeah, B is perfectly middle here, because I liked his writing, I liked his story, I liked his voice acting. So I have to put him in B tier, I think. Bebe. Bebe is odd because his French accent is not good. Sorry, whoever did the voice acting for Bebe, but your voice acting kind of lets you down. But I really liked his story. Wanting to be a fashionista, but also being a weeb, basically. Loves Japan, wants to live in Japan, but can't because his aunt passes away. I think he goes in A. He would probably go in S, but I think A is probably good because his voice acting is very conflicting because his accent is very, very bad. Like I think his French accent might be one of the worst accents I've heard in gaming. Not in gaming, but like in Persona games. Next up we have Grandpa, one of the two Hierophants. I think he's another B, honestly. I think both of the Hierophants go in B. Liked their story, appreciated their voice acting, pretty funny at times, very much a grandpa, and that every now and again he'll just stuff like a sweet treat into your pocket. Perfectly acceptable character. Next up we have Chidori. Chidori is A. You adore her. I could see that, yeah. Chidori is like one of those is a character who grows on me a lot because obviously when you initially meet her, she's part of Strega. You don't even know her name initially. She doesn't really show up for a while, and then she does. And when she shows up, she's very impactful in the story. Teaches us a lot about, you know, everything going on. Her persona tries to kill her at one point during the story, which is pretty cool. And she's also alive at the end of my gameplay. She was alive in my story. So she died for Junpei, but she comes back. And doesn't remember Junpei, but remembers essence of things, I guess would be how I put it. So yeah, I think I think high A. I think she's higher than Bebe because of Bebe's voice acting. Her voice acting is incredible. Oh, I don't remember her name. She was the Justice Arcana? Yeah, she's the Justice Arcana. I think we have our first C, honestly. I don't remember much about her character other than the fact that she was very, like, against public displays of affection on school grounds. She stood up when it seemed like Mitsuru was actively dating Makoto, which is ironic because that is the romance I went for. But she is pretty much just nondescript. Voice acting is good. Yeah, honestly, I'm sorry if this is your favorite character in Persona 3. Sorry, but she just didn't really resonate with me. Elizabeth goes in S. She was a nerd like books. Yeah, she was someone who was genuinely afraid of men, and like our character helped her get over that. But like, that's the most interesting part of her story, honestly, and it wasn't much to talk about. But Elizabeth goes in S. She's one of the more fun attendants. She's a good time. Is very funny, especially when you give her some of her request items and she wears them, like the novelty glasses with the nose, that sort of thing. Very funny. Fuka goes in S as well. Fuka is perfectly manageable across all the boards. She's probably the best navigator in the Persona franchise, I think. At least from what I've played from Persona 5 and Persona 3, she's the better navigator. She's got a fun story. She's got interesting background. I liked her. Her voice acting is very good. Genuinely think she might be one of the better characters in this game, but I do think this is basically how it is so far. It's Eigis, Akihiko, Liz, Fuka, Chidori, Bebe, Sun Persona, Sun Arcana, Granddad, and then Justice at the end. And next we have the Emperor. The Emperor, he grows on me. I think he goes in B, but he's low B. He's like B minus. He's very like Puritan, I guess. Like they find a cigarette butt in one of the toilets and he loses his mind over it. And like, I get he's supposed to be like, you know, a member of the committee and all that sort of stuff, and he's supposed to be the one doling out punishments and all this sort of stuff, but he also has a code of honor. So I think he's good. Itsutsuki. See, it's weird, right? Because I liked Itsutsuki until he turned on us. And I think that's actually genuine. Like, I think it's genuinely great writing is the thing, right? So I have to incorporate that, right? I can't just be like, oh, cringe because he betrayed us. I'm like, I don't think he belongs in cringe. I think he might be one of the better written twist villains, because I didn't see it coming at all, honestly. Does he go in A? No, I don't think I could put him in A. Can I put him in A? Itsuzuki has like he tries his best to, like, when he's not trying to kill C's, because that happens obviously in the final third of the game. He is like super interesting, is very, very annoying with his puns, but it's kind of funny because that's his thing. But he's also like very supportive. Like I didn't see his twist coming, so I think that's very good writing. So I don't think I could put him in cringe. I think I have to put him in A tier, because he's probably one of the better twists I've seen. Yeah, I think I have to put it. You know what? I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna put him in high B tier. I'm gonna put him there. Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah. I think that's about okay. I think that's about fair, right? Because he's interesting. He's a good twist. He dies. He's very integral to the story, and I think I can't put him in cringe, even though I think he's interesting. If I didn't think he was interesting, or I thought, oh, this is boring, this is a shitty twist, I would put him in cringe. But I think he was very good as a character, so I can't put him in cringe. We have Jin. Jin goes in cringe. Don't know anything about him other than he was willing to die for Takaya. Doesn't seem to have any problem controlling his persona. We know he takes his suppressants and that he's dying, but don't know anything about him really other than that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Junpei goes straight into based. Between his combat, his character growth, and his incredible voice acting, he goes in based. He's based. He's the first base character we have on this list. Genuinely think he might be one of the best characters in this game. We have the Chariot. You go in C. Don't remember much about you. I think your nickname was Kaz. You were one of the 2 social links we didn't finish. And I think you might just be pretty boring, honestly. Just go to the hospital and get your knee fixed. Like, actually, no, I'm going to put him in D tier. Yeah. Yeah, Kaz, we've now got a character in every single category. Kaz deserves to be in D tier, I think. I think that's fair. Next we have, this is the Fortune Arcana, who we also didn't finish, but I thought he was more interesting. He had, like, this whole dividing thing of his dad wanted him to be a doctor, and he was really good at being a doctor, but he's also an incredible artist. And, like, I kind of wanted to see how that ended, but we didn't get to see it, so I'm actually going to stick him in C tier. He's slightly more interesting than the Justice Arcana, but I also don't think, because I didn't finish his story, I can't really rate him any higher than C, maybe B. He's somewhere between these two, I think. He's teetering on the edge of being in B tier. You really liked him? I don't think I can put him any higher than that, because I didn't finish his social link, and I think if we saw his whole social link, I could maybe consider putting him. You know what, actually, I think I can put, I think social links I didn't finish can only go as high as B, and I think he has to be at the very, very bottom of B in that case, right? Because I liked him, he was interesting, and if I had the time, if I had figured out stuff and finished that social link, I think I probably would have put him higher. So we'll put him in B for now. Ken goes in A tier. He goes slightly above Bebe because he's a kid, which I found very weird, but he is a good character. He has interesting motivations. I liked his persona designs. I thought he was very, very good. I liked his voice acting. Yeah. Any opinions on my ruling with Ken? I think he's good overall. I think A is about right for him. I can't put him in S tier because I don't really think he has much going for him past everything else. Ken is right in A. Yeah, I think everything aside from Ken's Ken's relationship with Akihiko and Shinji are the most interesting parts of his relationship. But once those are done, I don't really feel like he gets any better. if you know what I mean. Like, once he has unlocked Kalonemi and all that, I think he stays about there. I think that's about right. You're the magician. You go in D tier, I think. You're just you want to sleep with your teacher. But I think D tier is right for no, I think you go in cringe actually. Yeah, I think you go in cringe. I don't really remember much about his social link other than the fact he wanted to sleep with his teacher, and his teacher was he didn't understand that his teacher wasn't trying to sleep with him, and then got really sad about it. So yeah, I think he goes in cringe, honestly. Koromaru, he goes in based. I don't think there needs to be any other conversations on that. He is the goodest boy. He is incredible in combat. He's really funny. The voice acting is quite fun because someone's actually making the dog noises. So I think that's good. You are the Hanged Arcana. I think you go in C tier because, like, you're fun. I like I like the story that she brings because her parents are getting divorced and she doesn't want them to get divorced, so she runs away and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, she's interesting, but I don't particularly think she goes any higher than that. I think she just goes in C tier because she's fine. That's it, really. Voice acting was good. Most of everything else was okay. The Star Arcana. Well, I'm a little biased because those of you who don't know, the Star Arcana is voiced by a friend of mine, Yong Ye. He also voices Kiryu in the Like a Dragon series. He was also in the Demon Slayer anime, I believe. He also tried to be in the Beastars anime a couple different times, but you know, there's a familiarity there with him. But I think I'm kind of sad that he didn't get to live his dream as a track star, and he ended up just working in a factory. So I think he goes in B tier. I think he's a B tier character. Voice acting is very good. Story's interesting, but I don't particularly think he's got much else going for him. Yeah, that's basically it, really. I think. Any opinions in the chat? Anyone want to tell me whether or not I'm off with that one? I think that's about right. I think Hayase is about a B tier character. I think I'll put him at the top of B tier though. I think he's at the top of B. He might be A tier if he had gotten like a scholarship and they were willing to help. Like, I don't know, something came along. Like, if there was some sort of thing you could do to help him, like, I don't know. I had millions of yen at that point. If I could donate some money to him to help him out, I think I would have done that. But you know, that's how the game is. Hayase is the top of B tier right now. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We have oh Christ, what was the character? Maya. We have Maya. We have the Hermit Arcana. I think that's another C tier, honestly. Yeah, like it's basically that meme of me as a 17-year-old helping a 35-year-old woman through divorce on World of Warcraft. That meme is basically that entire social link. Excuse me. I think she just goes in C tier, honestly. I think she was fine. That was it, really. That's all I can really point out on that one. Mitsuru goes in based. She is the character who I decided to romance. I'm gonna put her above Koromaru. The second I won't lie, if you watch the first episode of the Persona 3 playthrough again, I may or may not have played the nut sound effect when she was on screen, so I think it's only fair that she goes in based. She's an ice queen on the exterior, but she's actually quite sweet and quite caring on the inside. Makes a mean cup of coffee, because she'd be making coffee if I was around, not tea. But hey, you know, we've got our own things. So I think Mitsuru has to go in based. Next up we have the Tower, the Monk. He goes in A tier. He goes above Bebe, I think. Below Ken. Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. The monk was a lot of fun. He's a super interesting character. You know, going back and experiencing, trying to win back his family after leaving them behind and all this sort of stuff. He's a very interesting character, and I like his voice acting is very good. I appreciate all of his idiosyncrasies, so I think he has to go in A tier. Next up, we have the Moon Arcana. Moon, you go in cringe. We have three based and 3 cringe characters. Actually, does he? Yeah. No. Sorry, you don't go in cringe. You don't deserve to go in cringe. You go in D tier, and I'll tell you exactly why he goes in D tier. He is the only social link who shows the old mechanic that used to be in Persona games, wherein social links can be reversed. Those of you who follow any kind of like tarot reading know what happens when, you know, something's reversed, right? Like that's a thing in tarot. And what that used to mean in Persona was that if an arcana was reversed, you couldn't advance that arcana social link anymore if you don't interact with people. And because of that, I think that I have to put him in D tier because he's the only one who has that mechanic still, even though it only happens and then immediately it switches back to normal. Actually, yeah, I'm talking myself out of this. He goes in cringe. There's nothing particularly interesting on that one. He just goes in cringe. Death, or Pharos, I believe is his actual name. Pharos, you go in S tier. Because of one very simple reason. Without Pharos, this whole game wouldn't exist. He goes in S tier. He is a pivotal part of the story. He is the only... he's one of the 2 social links in this game that are mandatory maxed out. Well, 3, I guess, if you include Judgment. But he's one of the only ones that is an actual person who will be maxed out. Death, you max out no matter what. Assuming you play the game to completion, that is. Great voice acting. Interesting design. Good stuff all around. I think he goes in lower S tier. Makoto, you go in based. Main character goes in based. Just because I played him. Ryoji goes in... I think he goes in A tier, but I think he goes like right there. I think he's A tier. I think he's a very interesting character, very, very pivotal to the story. Liked his design. Thought he had a fun like dynamic with the MC and all of the other characters in the cast. Yeah, I think he's good. Shinji's an S tier character. Without Shinji, this whole game would not be nearly as good because we wouldn't have Ken. We probably wouldn't have Akihiko or Mitsuru. So Shinji is an S tier character. I think he goes above Fuka. Above Fuka, below Liz, Akihiko, and Eigis. He has he's great voice acting. Loved his persona design. Loved his unique skills. His death was very impactful. Yeah, I think he's an S tier character. Revolver Jesus, aka Pizza Boy is low, D or cringe. I think he goes in D tier. Or does he go in C tier? See, here's the thing. Takaya is only interesting because there are points where he doesn't particularly care about C's, and he's like, oh, I'll help you beat this shadow or whatever else is going on. Takaya has very pivotal points in this story. Obviously, he kills Shinji. He kills other people who we don't hear about, but we know for sure he kills people during the Dark Hour. He is the leader of Strega. Very fun fight at the end of the game. I think I just stick him in C, low C tier. Just a hipster who lost it? Yeah, kind of. I can see that. I can see why you'd be like, oh, he's D tier or cringe, but I think he goes in C because he's so pivotal to the story. He's very well voice acted. and like he's got a unique design, even if I do think it's a bit like meh. You know what I mean? His design is interesting, but not interesting in the way that it's like bombastic or over the top. It just sort of looks like whatever, you know, but he's a unique because he stands out because he's got tattoos and he's got yellow eyes, which is also very unique. Mitsuru's dad. Mitsuru's dad is a A-tier character, I think. Yeah, I think he's an A-tier character. He's very pivotal, he's very remorseful for what his dad had done. Tries his whole life to fix that. Works alongside Seize. Is unfortunately killed by Itsutsuki. Very, very good. Devil, he goes in cringe. Didn't like him at all. Miss Toriumi goes in B tier. Yeah, she just goes in B tier, I think. She's better than Maya. Like Maya is decidedly less interesting than as Toriumi is, but I think Toriumi just goes in B tier. She's fine. Nothing particularly noteworthy. Yukari. This might upset some people. I think Yukari's a B tier. Is she? How does that feel? How do I feel about that? How do I feel about her being in B tier? I don't think that. No, I think she's A tier. I think she's like here. Is she the worst C's? That's a good point. Because so far as Ken is the lowest rated C's member, and there's no more C. Well, there's only one C's member left. Basically, it's Metis. But I don't think she's the worst C's member. I also don't think Ken's the worst C's member. I think they're, it's odd, right? Because someone's got to be the worst, but I don't particularly know if it's. See, I think episode Eigis, like, really. She's the healer, yeah, but I don't want to just be like, oh, she's the healer, so she's S tier. No, like, I think that her personality can kind of be abrasive at times, which I guess is the point. She's supposed to be. But when she opens up to you, she's very sweet. She tries her best. So I think she has to go in A tier. I don't think she's the best A tier character. I think she might be. She's still below Chidori, but she's an A tier character, I think. And then finally we have Yuko, who I know is going to be really. This is going to be really annoying to some people, but I thought Yuko was like a D tier character, maybe like a C tier character. She was like, she's like the best C tier character. I know people love this girl. Episode Eigis was bad for Yukari. Yeah, episode Eigis was pretty bad for Yukari. But Yuko goes in C tier. I think she's the best C tier character there is. I like the fact that as you go through her social links, she becomes like more sure about what she wants to be. Like she's like, oh, I want to be like a trainer or a coach, and I want to like become really good at that sort of thing. And I appreciate that she actually gains a objective in life from hanging out with her, and you see her grow from that. But also I think everybody else in here does better at that. Well, I say that, and this guy's actually dead. So you know what? Maybe I've placed him too high. Maybe he should be in C tier, and you should be in B tier. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Yeah, because you don't really gain much other than like closure, but you actually gain like an objective in life. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And finally, Metis. Metis is a perfectly acceptable character who is quite annoying and is very obsessed with her sister. And you can kind of understand why, because she is her sister's id. She is her sister's human side, entirely split from Eigis. I think she is mid C tier, I think. And that's it, really. I don't think she's anything particularly she's fine, I guess is the way I put it. She's fine. She's not got much going for her other than the fact that she loves her sister, and she is very good in combat. Kind of has like yeah, I think Metis is C tier, I think. Or is she D tier? You know, I think Metis might be actually D tier. I think she might be the only other D tier character in the game. If Metis wasn't in this game, would I have missed her? Probably not. I'll put it this way, right? If they had separated Aigis's like emotion from herself and had Shinji come back, like, you know, have this be like a wacky time where like Shinji comes back, or hell, have Ryoji come back and he could like do the fill the role that Metis did. I think that would be more interesting. Probably not as sensical, but I think that would be more interesting. Metis just basically, you know, she's like an actual child, which makes some sense, but I think that's about right. All right, let me go through this in my head. Let me go through this and we'll see. So in the base tier, we have Junpei, Mitsuru, Koromaru, and Motoko. In S tier, we have Aigis, Akihiko, Liz, Shinji, Fuka, and Pharos. In A tier, we have Chidori, Yukari, Ken, Ryoji, the Tower, Bebe, Mitsuru's dad. In B tier, we have Hayase, Itsutsuki, the Hierophant, the Emperor, Miss Toriumi, Yuko, and Fortune. In C tier, we have the Sun, Justice, Hanged, Maya, and Takaya. Then in D tier, we have Metis and Kaz, while in Cringe, we have Jin, the Magician, the Moon, and the Devil Arcanas. Yeah, you know what? I think that's pretty okay. I think that's basically what I'd be good with, honestly. Yeah. Anyone got any comments that they'd like to say about this stuff? Also, by the way, YouTube, make sure you leave a comment down below, because I am comment farming. Make sure you tell me what's wrong, what's right, what would you change? Is there anyone here who you'd move around? Is there anyone who you'd take out of Cringe down here, say, and you'd move up to like B or C tier, or anyone in base who you'd move down? That sort of thing. Let me know. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. So yeah, YouTube, if you like the tier list, leave a comment down below saying you want me to do more of them. I might do a metaphor tier list if you guys like this one. And I will see you next time, YouTube. Bye now.